Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Build and Invest Show. Today, I'm going to be going over some of the interesting stories of the day. A lot going on. We are in an amazing moment in history, and I think part of what I want to start doing more of, instead of showing you only how to build things and do things, I want to start talking about what's going on because we're in crazy times, and if I can help people prepare a little bit more, I that's my goal. This week, actually, last week, someone asked me a good question that I really wanted to start the show with today because this is going to get crazy because what's happening now is that things are moving so fast that even people like me that get to look at it all day every day can't keep up anymore. So what ends up happening is you kind of feel like if you miss a day or two, you're behind. And I've heard this many times by different people in the space. And these are people who are paying attention. People, ignorance is bliss. There's people who are not paying attention at all and they don't know what's going on. But if you are paying attention and you realize, man, this is moving so fast. One person asked me, how do you stay grounded in time like this where it's so overwhelming to stay up on all of this stuff, and there's like this existential threat to our ability to earn money and stuff like that. So like, how do you stay non-stressed? Someone asked me that, and I told them, what, I haven't really thought about it, but I am stressed. I'm stressed. I'm worried. And I think everybody should be worried. And I think worry and stress is a good thing if you use it, right? Like if you just let it um stop you and make you depressed, that's one thing. But if you use it as motivation and say, okay, this stress is going to make me work harder to do things that I probably wouldn't do normally because of my lack of stress, right? So one of the things I think about is the way I stay grounded is I use this stuff. I work in it, So the idea is if you're using this stuff to solve problems, you don't feel as much stress, right? Because at the end of the day, if you look at the technology and you say, "Oh my God, it's gonna take my job. Oh my God, it's gonna cause X, Y, Z," or you say, "Oh my God, this is gonna help me solve the problem I always wanted to solve." Then you got less stress because yeah, maybe you don't really know how it's going to turn into money right away, but it gives you a way of like connecting to the mission, right? Create a mission. Like for me, for instance, my mission is to like help people create as much leverage in their lives and their businesses, right? So when I first thought of that mission, I thought about it in a financial way because I had always been a media and technology person. So I already kind of understood how to leverage technology for media and leverage technology to make more technology. But finance was a missing piece, and I thought it was like the final boss of leverage. And at that point, I had a company, so I had my company had grown to over 20 people at one point. So I already mastered managing people. I wouldn't say mastered. I got to the point where I managed a lot of people. I got to the point where I managed money. I got to the point where I managed media and technology, which are the major leverage points. But really leveraging finance, I didn't do that enough. So I said, all right, let me build that. So that kind of helped me feel okay as all this AI stuff was coming. But I didn't think it would happen as fast as it did. That's the big truth. Like nobody thought it would happen this fast. So that creates extra stress on me, right? So the way I stay grounded is I just think about all the problems I'm trying to solve for myself that I know other people will have those problems eventually, right? So for me, I'm just ahead of most people in using this technology and viewing how I think the world is going to operate when this technology is common. Because right now, it's still not even common for most people, right? Like 99% of people have not even used a chatbot, right? So What does that mean for society? That means we got a long way to go before it's really a problem, right? Um, and the way I look at it is, if you think about it and you say, what is the what is the thing I most wanted to do that I just couldn't do because I had a job, I was busy, I was stressed from whatever else. Now I have this thing that can work without my input as much. It's kind of like now I have employees. What would I do if I could live a life like these ultra rich people that get to have assistants and employees, CEOs of their companies, right? Because again, if you think about people like Elon Musk and even like uh, Jay Z type person comes to mind, where these people reach a level of status that they're working on 20 different things, and there's nobody's working on 20 different things. They hire people to work on 20 different things. They say, okay, my mission is to create a whatever, let's take Elon Musk, to create a car company. Okay, so I'm gonna get somebody that's gonna run that car company. Jay-Z, I'm making a media company. I'm gonna get somebody to run that media company. They're not doing that. So now if you think about that the same way, you say, okay, what are the problems that I'm going to be one of the maybe millions of people that try to solve it? Not to say I'm going to be the number one that's going to dominate and make all the money. As long as I push humanity a little bit forward with my efforts, I'm cool. If I could pay my bills and I'm not starving, I'm cool. I don't need to be the richest person in the world. That's how I personally stay grounded in this. But I'll tell you, every day I look and on my timeline, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to start showing you my timeline so you can see, like, I follow specific types of people. I kind of try to stay away from news and drama, but in X, they definitely work it in there for you. But I'm going to start out by today, Bitcoin is pumping. So I want to talk there first because, again, one of my biggest worries is there's a saying they say a lot. They say you will own nothing and be happy. That's how they want most people to be. And yes, you may look at Bitcoin and say, that's not a physical thing. So am I owning anything? But the way I see it, in a world with AI, nothing's really going to be scarce, right? So let's think about the things that are scarce. Real estate. Everybody always says there's only a certain amount of land. Yes, but most people don't know that most governments stop building. They stop new homes being built. That's not going to last, right? Eventually, the way to build homes is going to be easier, right? So you're going to be able to print a home, 50 homes a day, and nobody needs to be homeless. There's enough land for everybody to have a home. The problem is there's all this regulation. But once there's AI, they don't really need to lock that down as much. Then you think about the next thing that's scarce. A lot of people will think gold, right? The reason gold is scarce is because people have to go mine it, go dig for it, and find it. What happens when there's millions of robots and people just say, okay, go mine for gold? That's your job all day long, 24/7. Go everywhere on the earth till you find all the gold. It's not going to be as scarce. What happens when they send robots to space? And they already know of asteroids with trillions and trillions of dollars of gold. So that's not going to be scarce. Stock is not scarce because every now and then companies create more stock shares to sell. The real only way to create scarcity is going to become programmably scarce. You have to make something that everyone agrees you're not going to make more of, and that's Bitcoin, right? So this is why I want to start out with Bitcoin and say, okay, let's see what's going on with Bitcoin, because today prices are going up. I want to see what people are thinking about, why, and let's start, figuring it out. Not financial advice, but I definitely think this is one of the only things that will be scarce. All right, let's see.
And I can't tell if that life feels like it's happening very fast.
I just
And
said.
I can't tell if that's just normal getting older and having kids, if that's like the like the days are long but the weeks go by quickly kind of feeling that you've heard people talk about. Like I'm definitely in that. And I'm definitely in this like I feel like I've actually been this way since COVID of like every day feels like Groundhog's Day. And not in a bad way, but in a very like every day feels very repetitive. And I like the routine. I love routine. I love routine. And so part of that is like a box that I'm putting myself into, probably. But there's just all like let me list off. I I feel like there's these are things I think about a lot. I think about like over optimization and like programming things versus just like letting them happen organically. I had this back and forth this morning with QuickBooks about like with QuickBooks chat support. Like, why are you not letting me custom categorize my income when you do let me custom categorize my expenses? And they're like, well, you're not on the plan that lets you do that.
You see what I'm saying? I'm guessing he's gonna say, "Nah, I can rebuild it myself."
And I'm like, okay, so transfer over there. And then it's like, oh, now instead of it being $20 a month, it's going to be $130 a month. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. Like I could feel while I was chatting with the guy that like, this is outdated. Like that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense that to have that big of a difference for that small of a feature. That those times are changing. Like that's changing. I could download my credit card transactions and put it into OpenClaw and it could categorize them for me. Like that doesn't make any sense for your guys' little GUI. Because again, with OpenClaw, I just built effectively what Trello does last week in half a day. And now I'm just iterating on it and making custom to what I want. And so that's a small example of like if in my first week of OpenClaw I was able to recreate Trello, that is changing. But then just continuing around the horn of things I've been thinking about, it's not perfect. It's not perfect and it's frustrating and it breaks also. But it's like if QuickBooks is broken and breaks and has weird paywalls and clunky things, and OpenClaw has it too, that's just crazy. That's wild that one of the largest classic SaaS softwares that are out there is just as frustrating to use as like the open source that was invented 90 days ago. That's crazy. And so I'm thinking a lot about that. And I'm thinking consuming different information and feeling it differently. And I feel like that is true more than ever. But again, I don't know if that's true more than ever or if that just is a thing that's always been happening. Like I really struggle with because I'm tracking so much of like the latest tech trends or whatever. Like how much of what I'm feeling is because of the technology age that we live in, or if it is just kind of a normal like growing up pattern. I think about that a lot. And then there's this thing. So another
Yeah.
thing talked about or was thinking about was over the weekend
Can you hear me? I got a message that it was off. I am live. Okay.
was the like burnout in like how or passion, working on what you're passionate about. Like I feel like the motivation, the menu of things that you can do every day and what you can optimize is very big. And
So yeah, this is kind of what I was just talking about, right? Like someone asked me, "How do you stay grounded in this time where now we can do anything and things are changing so fast?" I watched something this morning that said by the time a 40-year-old, I'm past 40, by the time we reach 60, things will change. I think they said 10 years in time of innovation every 3 months. So what that means is like things are gonna start moving much faster. So we all have to kind of create this system for ourselves where we just take our like time with how we deal with things, and we don't like over stress things. We just like take things as they change and be okay with that. I don't know if many people are gonna want that. Like nobody likes change, right? Like we're built not to like change. So now if you take that and you say, too bad, you don't gotta like it. It is what it is. Now what happens, right? Like most people are not gonna make it in that world, right? Like if you think I'm going to, nobody likes change. I'm just going back to my YouTube. If you think most people are gonna be okay with in 5 years things being 50 years advanced, it's gonna get crazy out here. I don't know. And I look at all this stuff and see, even I didn't watch this before we started, but even he's talking about it. This was supposed to be a Bitcoin, but he kind of just spoke about what I was talking about. People are asking me, and I think it might be for us people in the front lines of watching and using this stuff. We're starting to realize what the hell's about to happen more, and I have been calling it out for a long time. But now that I'm seeing it and it's happening much faster than I thought, I am worried. I'm worried. So I get him. I get him talking about it. I was coming to this for Bitcoin. Let's see if he talks about it.
And like if you're burned out or feeling burned out on what you're waking up or what's in front of you, there's not really a such thing as, this is an Naval quote, but I'm like probably saying it out of order, but it's like there's no such thing as burnout. There's just like you just don't care. And so not saying there's no such thing as burnout from like a not minimizing it. Like you're feeling something very real. You are feeling something very real. But to just be like, oh, I'm burned out, I just need a break. Like, no, just truly that thing just might not be interesting to you anymore. And that right there is interesting because it's like, then how basically like that creates a bigger question of like, how much ability do you have to work on what you want to work on, or like pay attention to what you want to pay attention to?
So this is a very important point. I used to work freelance, full time, my own companies. I've done all three. And even when I was working for, my ideal job as a kid was to do stuff for Disney. And when I was doing that for a full time job, I was stressed out. I didn't really enjoy that work. But again, there was deadlines. It was all kind of stuff. A lot of work to be done in short periods of time, and I wanted things to look amazing, so I would spend extra time. So that stress of late nights, all nighters, I didn't love it. Then when I went to create my own business, I was able to work a lot more for my business. But then I had clients, right? And it became a similar feel where I would get clients and they would make me work late nights, and it wasn't for me. So I would get stressed out, burnt out. When I told myself, now I'm only going to work on things that are my ideas. So like Stack is my idea and I'm working on that. I haven't been burnt out. And that's because it's kind of like my baby. I'm working on it. It's my thing. I love it. So I don't get tired of it. Of course you want a vacation, you want time off, but my mission kind of drives it to the point where I feel good about working on this all the time. I can work on this all the time. And this was weird when I first realized that this was happening, because this is finance. Stack is a financial app. And I've been working on this all day, every day for 5 years now. And now I look and I'm like, I would have never in a million years thought a finance app would have held my attention for that long. But it has, because the mission keeps me there, because I know what it means to have this working for myself, for my family, for other people. So I do it. Of course I would like to be doing other stuff, but I'm not burnt out doing it. So I do think about what this guy's talking about and wonder, what is that for everybody? Like, can you all figure out whatever that is for you?
And that just gets really deep. That gets really deep. that goes way into personal finance, and like, because talk about personal finance and financial freedom to be able to like focus on what you want to focus on. Or if you like the trade, you like the attention trade that is happening every time. I also think it's interesting just that just circles back to like, yeah, AI being able to like automate so many things. It forces you, or tinker, it just can really create its own like tinkering optimization rabbit hole. And it forces you to really be like, what's important?
This is interesting. Like I've gotten here. I've like went through so many things. I've built like so many things that I'm like, okay, you need to stop building things. You can rebuild anything you want. Now, what should you do? So today I really had like a coming to Jesus moment with myself and said, all right, what is needed most for me to do my mission, for me to grow my businesses? I need to focus on those things and not make more things. If I make a new thing, it must be connected to the main thing and help the main thing. So he's right about this, and I think about this a lot. Like now, prioritizing is going to become more and more important because you can get lost in some random idea, because now anything is possible. Literally, you can make a movie tomorrow. You can make a copy a $1 billion company's product and sell it for cheaper. But it's still work. It's still time you have to spend. So for me, I look at this and I'm like,
New build houses do this too.
What am I going to do? What am I going to do with my time?
New build houses do this, where it's like, you could change floors, you could change the walls, you could change the backyard, you could change the like crown molding instead of the like who even knew there was crown molding? You know what I mean? Like, you learn things that can be optimized. That's a thing, I guess, of just like growing up in life too. Like when you hit new levels, you realize there's like everything in life is customizable. Like I've been trying to pick a pool vacuum for a while, and normally I'm pretty good at just like deciding on the thing. But actually, so the pool vacuum, like, of course I want the tech cool one. I don't want the pool brand one. Or I was like, well, first off, I was like, we have a Pentair pool. I was like, oh, I want the Pentair vacuum so it matches the brand of the pool and all the pool equipment. Well, Pentair doesn't make a vacuum anymore. The normal one comes from Hayward. Well, I don't want to mix Pentair and Hayward. That's weird. So then it's like, okay, well, we already have a Roomba vacuum. Like, oh, okay, this will be my vacuum app. Nope, Roomba doesn't make a pool vacuum. They only make indoor vacuums, okay? So then you're like, oh, the main tech brand out there is called Aiper. Okay, Aiper. And then you look in their menu of options, and it's like, well, $500 for the basic one, $1,700 for the Supermax Pro one.
All right, I thought this guy was going to talk about Bitcoin. Let's see if he gets there.
What does this matter? The other one where this happened to me was like the feel real, which I'm not understanding this price point. And that's happening to me more and more recently. Like money doesn't feel real. I love technology. I love apps on my phone. I love household automation. Like, I am the customer for this. I want this as a matching food thing. I want this, but I'm just not understanding this price point. And that's happening to me more and more recently. Like money doesn't feel real. Money doesn't feel real, which factors into all of this stuff. Pricing things is hard. Like, pricing things is extremely hard. The spoon is not real. The spoon does not feel real. When AI can do the work, when peptides can reprogram your brain, when Bitcoin stops fiat money from sucking, the spoon isn't real. And you start to realize that more and more. And everything just feels like gamified and made up. Like, why is the vacuum $1,700? Why is the QuickBooks that lets me categorize my transactions $130 a month? Doesn't make any sense. Why? So what's the through line here? This is the through line here. The way I just started this video and just started like talking off the top of my head, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this video. OpenClaw is going to take all 4 files. This one might actually just be one. Yeah, I've recorded 1 file. So OpenClaw is going to take this file, cut off the dead air at the beginning and at the end. I tell it to not speed my voice up. And then that's the clip for the video, right? But then instead of me like writing a title, I'm going to ask it to comb the transaction.
Literally, this was a video about Bitcoin, but I built the same thing. I think we all will reach the same points. Once we start playing with the technology, we will all reach the same points. Okay, I need this. This is a person I will have to pay, or I will have to do it. I'm gonna do it. So I always say I'm not special. I'm just here first, and I'm gonna do the things everybody else is gonna want to do. And maybe I'll build products so they can pay me to do it, but I don't know. Maybe not. I don't even think I'll be. I don't know about my content engine. I'm not. I think I'll just use it for myself. And look, he's building one. I didn't even think about that.
Transaction. Comb the transcript and create the YouTube title based on what I actually said. Because the key to YouTube is making sure that the viewer has a good experience from thumbnail and title into what the video is about. Like, you've heard the term clickbait. Like, clickbait is when you feel not fulfilled in what the presented packaging was and then what the video was about.
So what he's saying is a real cheat code, because the truth is that's the best way to grow on YouTube, and it's the hardest thing to do, right? So you got to create a thumbnail, title, then make sure the video matches. Most people shoot the video, then they do the thumbnail and the title. That's why everybody always teaches, do your thumbnail and title first so you know what to talk about in the video. But what he's saying is now the AI can just listen to the whole thing, make the best thumbnail and title for that. Now you're good. So you could just create videos like this that he basically didn't even talk about Bitcoin, which is weird.
Creates a problem to creating flow of thought videos, because then you have to craft it off of the like biggest hook, but there isn't always a big hook. And even in this, I think it'll be fascinating to see if AI can find the through line in all this. And that's basically what I'm going to ask it, is like, use the transcript of the free thought to find the through line. And then who's the audience that wants this? The audience that wants this is people that often feel overwhelmed with how fast life is moving, how fast technology is moving, how fast prices are moving.
What's crazy is I started this live saying that. I didn't even know he was talking about this. But I think what's happening is we're all getting to the same point. At least a lot of us that use this technology and build and create content, we're just overwhelmed by how much is changing in our situation. Because again, video stuff changing like crazy, tech stuff changing like crazy. What he just said used to take hours, but we're all coming to the same conclusion. This is going to take 5 minutes for the AI to do. What does this mean for society, but also for ourselves?
And are at varying levels of enjoyment in how they're spending their day-to-day. And how they're spending their day-to-day is directly tied to personal finances and being financially free or not. And then you have the optimism overlay on that, or the doomerism overlay on that. I lean optimism every time. Every time I lean optimism every time.
Me too, but not really. I'm getting more in the doomer camp. But he hasn't even mentioned 74K. So he's talking about clickbait, and he hasn't even talked about Bitcoin's price, which kind of, that's why I pulled this video up to see what he's talking about.
So, but OpenClaw is not a silver bullet. This is just the one workflow that has like worked so far. And Bitcoin isn't a silver bullet, which is why building cash flow alongside your Bitcoin is important.
So I'm glad he said that, because the truth is that's what I'm realizing now. That's why I'm like adjusting how I create content. Before it was all about stack. But what I'm realizing is if you don't have consistent cash flow, investing is not going to be good, because you're going to have to spend your money. You're going to have to sell your assets. And if you don't have consistent cash flow and the prices fall, and that's when you need your money, you're going to feel like it was a bad thing to do. So this is where I'm saying we need to all get our consistent cash flow right before we start really stacking, right? And of course, there's some people that already have that, some people don't. But I think AI is going to help all of us do it better and better, get more profit to invest. So that's why I'm starting to go into that type of content and that kind of creation myself.
So if you've made it all the way to the end of this video, I want to connect with you. Like, I want to, the best part of YouTube recently is talking to people from the channel and getting them together to continue to learn from each other. So if you made it all the way to the end of the video, click join next to the subscribe button, find your way into the private Discord, and jam with us on.
Same here. If you want to connect with me and my community, have a free community, link in the description. Let's start looking at Twitter. So this is how I see what's going on during the day. I follow people that are mostly doing innovative things, talking about innovative things. So look at this. This is important. Why? So what you're seeing is they're up-resing 3D images to look almost real, right? And it's getting better and better. So look, NVIDIA announces DLSS 5, an AI-powered breakthrough in visual fidelity for games. So what this means is this is not just for games, right? Like at the end of the day, you can create lower level things and make them look higher level just by AI. And what that's going to unlock is people are going to be able to make more pretty, nice looking things with less effort. So things are just going to become nicer and nicer looking. Doesn't mean you need a design degree to make something amazing. I went to school for 3D animation. This used to take months to do. And that's low res, right? So now, if you take the one, that's way harder to do. So now with just a swipe of a line, you're getting like thousands of hours of difference in quality. And that is powerful. I just heard something today where they were talking about a Google employee talking about how they've been using LLMs to do a year's worth of work in an hour. We're in crazy times, man. All right, so let's see what else. All right, that's an ad. All right, parenting. Okay. Even bigger irony of getting rich is that everything expensive isn't that much better than what you paid when it was normal. Many things are even worse. Most expensive luxury hotels are guaranteed worse than regular simple hotels. I know, I tried most of them. The real reason you want to get rich is not to buy expensive things. It's so that $1 million invested gives you 3% to take out every year with no risk. $30,000 a year. This is what I'm saying. This is what I built Stack to do. Again, to get to $1 million is hard. This guy makes millions of dollars because he has a bunch of different companies. But to get to $1 million is the hard thing. So if you can buy an asset that will grow to $1 million faster than most other assets in the safest route, which you may or may not believe Bitcoin is that, this is what it's about right here. Get to $1 million. I think you can borrow 10% of Bitcoin a year. That's 100K. Let's say I'm wrong and you want to do 70%, 7%. Still 70K a year, but $1 million is hard to get to. But again, we're at 70K right now. If Bitcoin reaches $1 million, that's 15x. So now if you start buying it right now, when it gets to $1 million, you will have $1 million worth of it. Even if that takes 10 years, 15 years, most people will never reach $1 million in their lives. So that's a good post. 5.4 has ramped faster than any other model we've launched in the API. All right, so a lot of people using it. I know I'm using it like crazy. Let's see what this is. Your wallet, your way. Hide anything you don't want to see. Well, let me see what it says here. Anything you won't want to see. Just go to the assets page and choose hide. I thought it was going to be more about hiding from other people. But I guess that's thinking possible. Alright, so I watched this. I don't really understand it. See, a lot of people are talking about this DLSS 5 thing. Big deal for gamers. That looks awesome. So why is this important? NVIDIA stopped making chips for games because they have to spend it all on AI now. So gamers may have some tough times of upgrades. But now that they can just use the same chips they already have and maybe upgrade it like this, they can get better things without having to get new chips. So again, Nvidia stock may do well based on that. All right, Manus. If you don't know about Manus, Manus was bought by Facebook. Just music. Manus is another kind of OpenClaw. It kind of controls your computer, does things for you. It was one of the original ones. It was a Chinese model though, so some people didn't trust it, including me. Then Facebook bought it, so I haven't really played with it. I did play with Hermes though. Let me show you what that is. So this weekend, Hermes AR, I think. Yeah, this one. I I downloaded this, and what Hermes is, it's a model that learns, which all of them learn, but it kind of it does reinforcement learning. So what I did is I put it and I gave it the whole stack code base and our new marketing and our new AI agent magnet marketing. So basically I got AI agent marketing, I got human marketing, and I fed all that to Hermes. And Hermes came back with something that none of the other agents came back with. So that was awesome. So Manus, I gotta try Manus. I haven't tried it yet. All right, Peter Diamandis, this is the man right here. You gotta watch his podcast. The high school administrators, if you are not actively pivoting your school's curriculum towards AI first and helping kids develop as entrepreneurs rather than employees, you're doing them a massive disservice. The social contract is vaporizing. What he's saying is true. I have 2 kids that are juniors in high school. They're in a software engineering high school. They're teaching them AI at least. They didn't always though, and I told them I don't care. You learned AI. I don't care what anybody tells you. But now they are learning it. The truth is, I speak to public officials. I speak to funders. Actually, today we had a meeting with a funder for my nonprofit MetaBronx, metabronx.com. If you want to help young people and entrepreneurs, it's 501c3. So we were on a call with a potential funder, and they are entrepreneur service, though they work with entrepreneurs. We were explaining that most of the stuff that is funded right now is not focused on entrepreneurship, even though everybody in this space knows there's either entrepreneurs or employees. If you need less employees, that means there's going to be more entrepreneurs. So if you are waiting for someone to hire you, you may be waiting for the rest of your life. Look for a problem to solve and solve it. That's entrepreneurship. You don't got to ride private jets to be an entrepreneur. You got to pay your bills by solving problems. That's what needs to happen. I agree wholeheartedly. I'm going to and I'm going to send this to a couple public officials I know. All right. And funders. All right. You can just build things. It's true. The Codex team are hardcore builders. And it really comes through in what they create. Look, Codex usage. Me too. Look, I did a bunch of stuff on the thumbnail app today. I did a whole onboarding flow for Stack. Check this out. I'll show you really quickly. We're going to have a whole new cool way of stacking. I'll find it. And while we're looking, I'll find it. This is awesome. Stack is going to integrate this right here. We use Privy. So Privy now, when you bring money into your wallet, you're going to be able to get interest as it sits in your wallet, even if it's not in anywhere else. And of course, they use Aave, so do we. But what ends up happening a lot of times is people drop money into their wallet and it sits there for a while before they deposit it into Stack. But now, as soon as that money hits their wallet, it's going to get interest. So we're working on this right now, trying to figure out how to implement it for everybody. But we're also adding a third chain, which is Base. That's where the AI agent traffic is. So we're testing that right now. But We live in amazing times, man. I'm so excited every day to work on this stuff I work on. But let me find the new onboarding process for Stack. Let's see what else is going on here too, though. All right. Let me see if I can find it real quickly. Okay, I think I closed it. I'll show it another day. So check this out. Last month I shared a bit here about my 17-year-old son has a passion for video game development and has spent hundreds of hours over the last 9 months creating his first game release. Well, I want to let you know Nitro Turtles is out. Amazing. That's an amazing story. You know, if anybody can do anything now, like again, for a 17-year-old to make a game like this usually take full studios years. Took him 9 months. Sounds like by himself. And I love games like this. I might check this out. It's like a Mario Kart, shoot the person in front of you game. I love that type of game. Alright, let's see what this guy's talking about. Finally got to the agent to reliably attach a video of it using the browser. Okay, yeah, I did this too. Let's see.
Honestly, hard, right? Hey everybody, so was working on something today I want to share with it. Trying to get my code factory fully working, and it's honestly hard, right? So there's a lot of little pieces that don't work right. You have to kind of battle with the system, with the model, with the prompt, all of it. And one of the obvious stupid things you need to do is you need to have the agent give you an artifact that verifies that an acceptance criteria was met. So for instance, if you've got a feature or a bug that touches UI, you obviously want to check it in the browser if you are building a web app. And you obviously want the agent to record a video of it doing, using the feature or the bug being fixed. And then you want that video to be viewable by you. And so there's a number of ways to do this, right? There's Agent Browser, there's Playwright, there's Playwright Interactive. There's just a billion ways to do this, right? But getting something that is reproducible, not flaky, deterministic is hard. So basically I stripped out all the skills that had to do with browser testing, stripped out all the stuff and started from scratch. And I have Symfony now reproducibly adding browser artifacts to issues. And it, essentially the way I did it is we just use the Playwright MCP in Codex. And Symfony uses GraphQL with Linear to insert the...
All right, this might get a little technical, but I'm going to reshare because I do the same thing. Because again, when you make an AI agent, right, it needs to prove it did something. That's what he means, like artifacts. It means like, did you do it? Did you check you did it, right? Because if you hire a person, you can say, check your work before you give it to me. To the AI, you want to do the same thing. So he built that. I've been building a version of that myself. I did it with images first. But I tried to do a video. It was a pain, but it's good to see that it's getting easier. Everything gets easier. All right. The U.S. needs 500,000 new electricians this decade. This is like, you heard me speak about this before. I'm going to try to hedge my bets. One of the things I'm doing right now is I'm actively trying to talk to electrician companies and see how I can help them leverage AI. And of course, leverage AI in media, technology, and finance. Why am I doing that? Because I probably want to buy one. Because again, apprenticeship takes 5 years. Right? So I'm figuring this out right now. Because again, I'm not banking on the fact that even if I'm in the 1% of AI users, that my job is safe. I don't think anybody can believe that their job is safe. Nobody. If they're saying electricians are safe, I've heard this many, many, many times. I'm gonna hedge my bets. I'm a little old to be a a new electrician apprentice, but I'm not above anything. I was watching a video today that spoke about every time big shifts in technology change happens, every time in the past we have found more jobs, and people keep saying that. But that is what's called the Luddite fallacy. Because if you go back in history, the people who did those jobs, when they changed, those people died broke. Because the new jobs didn't come for 60 to 80 years after that change. And over in history, the people who got phased out by the job, they did not retrain to other jobs. And on top of that, we're in the first time in history where this is going to touch everything, or most things, let's say. So what are you going to retrain to? Is everybody going to become an electrician? He just said it takes 5 years to become an electrician. So if in 5 years everybody realizes, oh, I better become an electrician, you got 5 years before you can be one. You can be an apprentice from day one. That means you have to work under a master apprentice. And that means you got to find a master apprentice that's willing to work on you, have you work under them and pay you, or unless you're going to do it for free, right? So this is important stuff. We gotta like, nobody should look. Keeps coming up on my timeline. So this is why I want to show like how I start to see trends on Twitter. I follow people in the media space, the technology space, the finance space, and you will see the most important things, and that's how I stay above the trends. And again, it took me years to curate this type of list though. Okay, so again, video game. This guy always jokes on the finance side. He's funny. Professor Yang, he's like been calling all this war stuff. I do have people that say they think he's a China plant, but he's getting the stuff right. All right, so that doesn't matter. Again, Nvidia is that must be a big deal. I'm gonna see one of my son's computers. I spent a little bit extra on that one to get him a good card. I'm gonna check this out. Actually, all my sons have pretty decent Nvidia cards. I'm gonna test that out. Institutions are flooding into crypto 7 hours ago. But Hoseb just said that's actually the worst news for one part of the market. And the data from every major exchange backs him up. All right, let's see what he's saying.
Institutions clearly are picking up the mantle where retail is left off. Retail is gone. If you look at trading volumes on exchanges, if you look at any kind of retail sentiment, you look at search queries or app store installs, retail is just absent. Every single exchange will tell you almost all the volume is institutions right now. And that means that tokens are dead because institutions don't buy tokens. Only retail buys tokens.
Tokens should be equities, and I think we should push towards that direction as quickly as possible. The tokens that have outperformed are ones that most closely resemble equities in their purest form.
I actually thought this would happen. I always thought tokens would become stocks. That's what he means, equities. I always thought, are companies that have tokens also going to go public? Because they already have public shares out there in a way. Why do you also go public? That doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me, and maybe this is what ends up happening. Again, Privy adds stablecoin yield. This is big for stockholders. You can just put your money there. It's getting interest when you're ready to stack it. Even better. So I love all the stuff happening. But as he said in the previous video, retail is gone. And the problem is institutions are now buying at this low price. And guess what's going to happen? When the price goes back up, that's when retail is going to come back in. The institutions are going to sell it to you, make bank. Then the price is going to fall. You're going to sell it back to the institutions. This keeps on happening. I don't know when we're going to learn. I'm trying to work on many things. One of the things I have, and I'm going to talk this publicly, and let's hash it out, ask any questions. One of my ideas, and I'm making a website, phone.org, PHOWN, phone.org. PHONE. Phone. Why am I doing this? My goal is to create a service we all pay for every month, where when we pay our service, we also buy assets. And I'm figuring out legally how to do it all, but I had a good long call today about it. My goal is not for people to own nothing and be happy. I want people to own something and be happy because they have options. We don't know which way this goes. They say, oh yeah, we're going to have high income and things are going to cost low amounts of money. I'll believe it when I see it. I want to have backup. Buy Bitcoin, buy Ethereum, buy stocks. Get steady income. Figure out whatever you got to do to get steady income, because we don't know when that could end. All right, so this is joke stuff, AI, video stuff. Okra just launched. I've been seeing this as well a lot. AI CMO. Again, I'm gonna test it out. I'll test all these things out. But this is where like I think about myself, and I gotta come up with like a catchy line. Like again, everybody, oh, the first AI CMO, and you can tell a lot of these people are paid to say this, even though they don't say it, because a lot of the lines are the exact same. So my hope is to create something where it is actually viral for what it does. We'll see. I'm working on a few of them. What else we got? Oh, look, again, we honestly didn't expect this much traffic and love. Liars. I'm sure you paid for a lot of it, but maybe not. I won't be Debbie Downer. First AI CMO. I told you I built one on my OpenClaw. That's the first thing I built too, right? When I said, okay, OpenClaw, what could this help me with? What's the most thing that gives me leverage? More eyeballs. So, okay, that means marketing. What could you do to help me with marketing? Here's what we can do. All right, do all of that. Holding equities leads to equity. Yes, exactly. At the end of the day, if you don't own, just again, most people in the planet own no assets. That's not good, because the top 10% of people own more assets than the bottom 90% combined. We need to start owning stuff, but you do need cash flow to own stuff. Because if you don't have steady cash flow when the prices fall and you need money, you're going to have to sell at the worst possible time. Okay, so first AI CMO. All right, again, showing up again. Manus, we spoke about this again. So again, see, today, my feed has mostly been Manus, AI CMO, NVIDIA. So I told you I follow people in media, technology, and finance. Also the privy. So now people who just put money in their Stack wallets before they even deposit it. Because I have people who put money for the full year. So they say, okay, I'm going to invest $100 a month. I'll put $1,200 in and leave it. And every month it invests $100, right? So while that money sits there, they can be collecting interest. I always wanted to build that. Now I don't have to. So, okay. All right, let's see this. This is Binance Smart Chain. February bear trap. March breakout. April alt season. May new all-time high near 215,000. These guys tend to be right, but they also market manipulate. So you could believe them or not, but they tend to be right a lot. I watch a lot from Binance. The owner, the past owner who went to jail, CZ's pretty on top of it. So look, he's saying by May 215,000. I can't see that. March, April, May. So in 2 months it's gonna be 215,000. That sounds crazy, but you never know. You just never know. June bull trap. That means comes back down. Liquidation cascade in July. Everybody gets liquidated. August bear market begins. That's what he's saying is going to happen. I've called major market tops and bottoms for over a decade. I warned about October top, and I'll do it again. So I'm going to repost this if you want to see it on my Twitter. Actually, I'm going to quote it. We'll see. I hope my Stack customers get money in before the 215, and then we protect the liquidations. So Win-win. I do know when we launch the AI agent stuff, I'm gonna see how I have now 2 different AI agents looking at it from different perspectives. I'm gonna give this to them both and see what it thinks. Again, NVIDIA. All right, so let's see what he says.
About something new. So, Peter Steinberger's here, and he wrote a piece of software. It's called OpenClaw, and I don't know if he realized how successful it's going to be, but the importance is profound. OpenClaw is the #1, it's the most popular open source project in the history of humanity, and it did so in just a few weeks. It exceeded what Linux did in 30 years. And it's that important. It is that important. It will do, well, this is all you do, okay? We're announcing our support of it. Let me just quickly go through this. I want to show you a couple things. You simply type this. You type this into a console, and
All right, so basically, OpenClaw again is getting more and more popular. My OpenClaw has been working all day. It's helping me. It's an amazing thing to get going. It does cost money. It does take time. It's not just works easy. I always have problems with it, but it's interesting. It's very cool to be a part of this moment in history, and I jumped on it pretty quick. I could have done it like 1 more week earlier, but I didn't because I was trying to see if it was just super hype. But now I got out in front because now you can't even get a Mac Mini because everybody's trying to run this thing. Bitcoin priced in gold. Someone pinch me. All right, so I don't really understand this chart. So here's what I do. I'm gonna teach you how I use AI. Oops. Let me shrink this down a little bit. Take a screenshot. And guess where I go? ChatGPT. Take that screenshot. I don't understand this chart. Can you explain this to me? Let's see. Shows Bitcoin measured in units of gold instead of dollars. So instead of asking how many dollars in Bitcoin is Bitcoin worth, how many ounces of gold can 1 Bitcoin buy? So the chart spikes, Bitcoin is gaining value versus gold. When it drops, gold is gaining versus Bitcoin. What the green line shows, long-term growth trend. Someone pinched me because historically when Bitcoin touched this trend, it often happened near the major buying opportunities. Okay, there you go. This is a major buying opportunity. It could go a little lower, sure. But this has always been a major buying opportunity because that's the price it goes from gold. And it just touched again. I told you the fear and greed index number is the lowest, one of the lowest I've ever seen. It's back to around the price that it was at the all-time high of the last run. These are all major signals. Not financial advice, but not financial advice. I want to share this one too, and I might use that one in a video somewhere. Maybe this video. So again, I just like to scroll really quickly to see what a lot of people are talking about. Guardians of the Universe didn't consider some things new. Okay, so this is all AI stuff. But man, the quality, man. Whew. So I'm gonna spin up eventually my own Industrial Light and Magic, but we're gonna make movies eventually too. My current OpenClaw setup, cost versus revenue. Mac Mini 500, student discount. Claude 200 a month. Brave browser $5 a month. Revenue $0. I will be transparent and honest. in my journey, but revenue won't be $0 for long. Let's run this up, brothers. So he's just starting out trying to say, you know, I'm going to figure out how to make money doing this. To be honest, I haven't done enough of that. I've been just trying to learn it and use it and try to figure out how it can help me run my businesses. I'm not really looking at it as being a consultant and stuff like that yet, but I'm getting the hang of it where I do think I could do more and more and more with it. But right now I have it all doing my AI agent marketing, my AI agent building, so I can get AI agents to use Stack. I think that's a $1 trillion opportunity. So it's working on that. And I have it working on my marketing. Right now, it does take the videos I create. It creates clips. It doesn't cut them yet. It just tells me which clips it believes are the best clips. So then I'm teaching it. I'm saying, I don't think that's good. It starts in a good place, but it ends in a bad place. Or it starts in a bad place and ends in a good place. So I'm training it to look at the best place to start and end. And once I have that, then I'm going to make it cut, edit. I got the thumbnail bot AI agent. I updated it today. It's doing really cool stuff. I fed it a bunch of knowledge on the best way to create thumbnails. So that's getting better. So that's part of the content engine. I need the content, then I need the thumbnail, I need the title. So we're building all that. More leverage. I'm just trying to get leverage in my media mostly. Leveraging my finance. That's what Stack is for. And leveraging technology, which is what OpenClaw is, right? So that's what the whole channel is about. Leveraging media, leveraging technology, leveraging finance. So OpenClaw is my leverage of technology. OpenClaw is also leveraging my media by creating AI agents to help me with making more media. And then now it's helping me bring in AI agents for Stack, which will help me leverage more money. So let's see how it all works out. Obsidian plus Claude. Okay, so this is interesting because if you are working on an OpenClaw,
I love using Obsidian with Claude Code to plan all of my projects. I love using Poke to organize everything I need to do in my daily life and kind of break it down day by day.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much
look for that. What's it called? Poke.
it.
And just curious, I won't, we'll end here, but how do you, I'm just curious about Obsidian and Cloud Code in general. You don't need to show your Obsidian, but because I know it's a very personal vault, but how...
I can show it. I don't care.
Okay. How do you think about using, as a creator, how do you think about using Obsidian and Cloud Code?
Yeah. Well, the thing is with notes and projects, it feels incredibly static about a year ago. But since then, I've just really loved, I can keep a bunch of different templates. I have my own storyboard template for everything to keep track of all of the things that we need to get to create a video. And this is my template. I also have an editor storyboard template because I'm currently trying to find an editor and I want to sometimes adapt my own template to something that is readable for an editor. I keep everything from every single project in Obsidian. So
I'm going to show you my Obsidian really quickly. This is crazy. So what I do is I have this device that'll record meetings. This is a Limitless. It got discontinued, but I'm going to hack it. And what I do is it sends the transcripts of all my conversations into Obsidian, and then I have AI look at all that and give me information. Like, what do you think based on everything I'm hearing, what I'm doing? What do you think I'm doing right? What do you think I'm doing wrong? YouTube scripts. Obsidian is awesome. Open source, free. I highly suggest you do it as well. Alright, the biggest institutions in the world are going deep into X402. X402 is, we're adding this into Stack, and if you see my my hackathon project, this was part of it. This is going to allow agents to pay for things. Permissionless, so you can give them limits like a credit card as well. Every institution is going to allow AI agents to buy things on our behalf. My goal is to position Stack as the treasury before they buy. They buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, borrow to pay for the things, creating their own endowment treasury. So all of this is just lining up. Of course, it's just a matter of time. We are getting closer and closer to launching our AI agent. Our agents are playing around, trying to break it. Once we know it's good to go, you will be the first to know. Or actually, our free community is going to be first to know. So join the free community. It's linked in the description. And hopefully this week we launch. Millions of stablecoins balance sit idle across financial apps. So I told you about this. Privy now gives developers a direct path to put that capital to work, collecting application balances on-chain lending markets. So basically, by just having USDC in your wallet, you're going to be able to get interest on that money way more than banks. So again, not financial advice, but again, understand how to leverage your finance. Crypto is not just about scams. The financial institutions are all getting involved in this, and they trick you into not being involved by scaring you. Oh, this is bull, it's fake. It's not. Evolve or die, crypto, evolution of money, barter, gold, metal, fiat, plastic cards, electric money, crypto. Funny, I saw a. Actually, I'll show you. I saw a I'm live on Twitter too. I saw a post today, and I hope I shared it. I may not have. Actually, I'll show you the ChatGPT. But basically, it was talking about how using agents, how you go up the ranks of using agents, right? So let me find it. Okay, here it is. So okay, this is the meme. This is the chart, right? So first, you start out with no AI. Most people in the world not using AI at all. Then you start by using AI in an IDE. That means like you use something like Cursor or Microsoft, I forget the name, Studio. I forget what to call it. So you work in there, but then you get the AI to like autocomplete. Then you got YOLO mode where you just let it do its thing. That's level 3. Level 4 is you go YOLO mode, but you conversate with it, and you look at the difference of the code. Agent first means no IDE. Maybe you'll go to an IDE later. So you'll code it, then you'll look at the code later, maybe. Agent multiplexing is bored of waiting, fire up multiple windows. So like while it's waiting 5, 8, 9 minutes, you open up another window. You've seen me do that live for the past few days. 10 plus agents managed by hand. So this is where I was also doing this over the past few days. I didn't show you all of it, but like I'll have like 7, 8 windows on one computer, and then I got OpenClaw doing the same thing. So this is a level 7, and then level 8 is building your orchestrator, which means you create your way of managing all of this. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to train OpenClaw to be my orchestrator. OpenClaw is an orchestrator, but it's an orchestrator that manages orchestrators, because everybody who uses it is trying to create their own orchestrators. So what OpenClaw did was it made the overall part of building that easier. So now all you need to do is like choose what you're going to have it do and what happens when other things happen. So I saw this and I thought of that meme. I thought of this meme. So what did I do? I created this meme. So I'm going to post this. So I made this. So this is like us right now. This is the new version of, I'm going to fix this right. It should say YOLO. Then I'm going to post this. But this is evolution now. The evolution of using AI. So I'm about to post that tonight. Like that one if you see it on Twitter. Share it too. Retweet. Alright, so fasting, Oscar winning, Jeff Goldblum, okay. urgent. Claude can now manage all your social media on autopilot, like $600 an hour community manager for free. All right, we'll look at that later. I kind of have something, I'm doing something like that with Navo, but I have my own version, so I want to see, I'll see what they're doing and see what I want to take from that. OpenSea is giving out tokens. Let's see. Hand coding is dead. All that's left is solving actual business problems. I just said that earlier in the video. If you are looking for problems to solve and you're not just waiting for someone to hire you, you're in the best chance to get money in the next couple of years, because a lot of people waiting for jobs that are never coming. So if you figure out a business problem you can solve, or a problem people are willing to pay for, you'll be alright. System design and actual design. It's true. MasterCard partnering with 87 crypto projects. But crypto is going away, right? Crypto's going to zero. Not happening. This is just every day you see crazy stuff like this, and most people are like, yeah, but the price is low right now. I'd rather buy it when it's 2 times more expensive. I don't know how to fix that problem. I'm working on it with the phone service I told you about. I'm gonna try to, whatever I gotta do to get people to buy when prices are low, I'm gonna figure it out. Alright, whoa, that's crazy. Candace Owens, what's this? So this is the only thing I hate about Twitter. I don't follow these people, but they force that into my feed. The goal is to die with memories, not dreams. Alright, like that. Codex has a 2 million plus weekly active user, up 300%. I've been using Codex all day long. So, and my team is as well. Beautiful portfolio. Alright, so I'll end it here. I think that was a lot. You guys hopefully got a lot of info, value. I'm trying to figure out how to educate and motivate you to leverage media, technology, finance using AI. Join the free community if you want to learn how to build something. Connect with me. You can get a course. You can take my time. On that note, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Whenever you watch, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the cool stuff. Thank you.